always checking. Vlog 124. Why do I say this laughing? Well, when I say it up loud, you know, my daily vlogging is a little bit falling behind. And I'm very honest about it, because I'm actually wrestling a little bit. What shall I do? Okay, this sounds very boring, but let's get into the I'm gonna talk a little bit about my vlogging journey first. And my word was before, I'm going to do it every single day. I'm still uploading the shorts, because simply the long form, I'm doing a lot of tests with thumbnail without text, videos with and without subtitles, just screenshots of the video as thumbnails, totally irrelevant topics mixed, single topic videos. And probably I have to do more in a row. I maybe understand this, but I thought about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing is also, you know, I watched actually a lot of YouTube courses in the past, all freakishly bullshit. And for 2 days ago I did another one. The only Easter egg in that course, I think that course cost normally $297. Did I pay that for that course? No. And also what I think about courses, I dropped this thought before, right? Most people share outdated bullshit, and the thing is, a lot of people just fall for it. And the thing is how they also do the reviews, you know, they just, you know, have a very select group, they do it first, and then when they have the reviews, they're gonna sell it to the public 1 year later. You can see, especially, okay, don't mention those names, but there are those famous marketplaces, you know, where people sell a lot of outdated crap, and then you got some kind of hole in the algorithm of some kind of platform, and you can monetize it. But you know what? That's all temporarily bullshit. All temporarily bullshit. And the thing is, and it's not only about, I understand people want to make money, a quick buck, and then for the majority of people it doesn't work out. Yes, maybe they pay $97 or $27. They're not getting too mad about it, because then it's always blamed on the dedication of, which I do understand. But when, you know, you sell a course or a hack, you know, that works only temporarily, because, you know, there's a little bit of gap, then they close the gap in the algorithm, and then the whole system doesn't work anymore. My systems that I'm sharing are evergreen and can be uncapped, without a cap, no roof on top. Of course there is at one point a roof. There are only 7 billion or 8 billion people on the planet, but if you get a little percentage of those people on board with whatever you do, I actually thinking about to make a video about it, a long form, because I wrote it somewhere down. And you know what, I'm not doing anything scripted normally, and now also not, and as you can see I jump in it, because I had a little, and I'm building a little mind map how, let's say, if you don't know how to make money online or in general, and let's say it again, I'm gonna say this constantly, people who are self-employed and call themselves a business owner or whatever the fuck you think you do, with all the respect, it's always good that you do a little bit more than an average person. But if you don't want to look around the corner and just listen to what I sometimes say, and you just fuck around and say you got all kind of problems and or things to solve and or very important things to do, and by the way, there are multiple people who said this. See, the thing is, oh, let me also stick to the point. So wait a minute. So when it's about selling something or make money online, you know, this is really something, and I wrote it down. You need a product to sell, you need a place to sell from, and you need people to sell to, and you need a person that sells. Those are the only 4 things. Can they be automated? Fuck yeah, because I'm doing this. Is this applicable to so many different audiences in different industries? Hell yes, I'm doing this in multiple industries. Can this be sold as a one-time service? Yes. Can it be implemented if you have some kind of normal fucked up business? Yes. Do you need to hire some kind of marketing company that does all kind of bullshit things for you, run ads, and you have to keep on pumping money in it, unless you work with the big huge people who charge over 100k? Of course you got those marketing agencies, but you know what, in the end you're still running around in your suit, you lick ass. That's not what you want. And I'm saying this in the most respectful possible way, because we live in a time era where everybody has a fucking phone, and this is how I am looking at it. When I look at somebody who has a phone, how can I reach them? And I actually started studying a couple of years ago for a very long time in one row. It's not that it was some outburst thing, the Hollywood movie scripts. And why did I do this? Simply, when you go to the fucking cinema, I've been a few times in my whole freaking life, all kind of people come over there. Why is that interesting? Because there are ways to reach bigger amounts of audience without niching it down. Of course, in the end, you won't sell cars to a 4-year-old child. We all do understand this. But let's see it also like this. People who buy a house, they would be interested to get a discount on, I don't know what, a kitchen cooking thing. They are interested in carpets, they're interested in curtains. You understand what I'm trying to say over here? People are in the real estate, and especially the local businesses, and then I'm not talking bad about anybody who's listening out. Let's say I'm now in Sofia, Bulgaria, but you know, they don't do any cross sales, they don't build audiences. The thing is, I'm not mad. Maybe you think, no, Darren, you start some kind of rant again. No, because for me, I see the angles, and I don't understand why, especially younger people, also don't think like this. And then still complaining about a couple of grand. Anyway, just saying, we live in an era that a lot of things can be automated. And I'm gonna say the 4 things once more. You need a product to sell, you need a place to sell from, and you need people to sell to, and you need a person that sells. They're only 4 elements. And I actually already start building a mind map for it, and I'm gonna tell somebody, oh no, I'm gonna give away that PDF, and then you start with building the audiences. I said this before, I gave away how to do it. Let's also say this again. You go to Pinterest, you download any a series of 10 pictures, you start building a page in less than 60 minutes, and then you do upload maybe every 2-3 times per day, every single day. You just build a working structure, and that's with everything. Everything needs consistency, but this is the beauty of, you know, building audiences. You can automate it. I got over 100 audiences, but the thing is, it's not about me, it's about that I sometimes a little bit, no, not frustrated, but I feel sorry for those people, you know. For example, when I see people just playing with their phones on their places of business, or whatever the fuck they call it, an A to B, just you give me money, I give you product and or service. And for people who are in the service thing, in general, they all need to lick ass. Do you think I need to lick ass to make a single sale? No. But okay, my strategies are a little bit more in depth, but this is the most basic way to get started. And what I said now, those are evergreen things. People who I like to watch, so for example, nails. If you would have a nail studio or whatever, I would create one Facebook page. It's all about nails. Then I would toenails. You see the picture, and all those are different audiences, but in the end you sell your own service and or nice, I don't know what, a manual how to do it yourself, etc. You're gonna do affiliate Amazon things because you know which nail polishing things, or you know, you stick your fingers in the UV lights, you cross sell those to your audience. And the thing is, you keep on building it, you interact with those people. But yeah, instead, and by the way, if you listen to this and you have accidentally this nail studio, it's not about you, by the way, because I don't have any emotional connection with somebody who is anyway not doing any more than the average person. This is also another thing, eh? A lot of businesses, nail studio, and by the way, again, I'm just using this because it pops in my head as the fastest, very fast, and the thing is, a lot of people understand what nail studios are and also what they are all about. Not all about, but you know, you understand what women like this, some men, but besides that, you know, they all pop up and they all come up with the same, and do we got a 10% discount? Yeah, but I got a very loyal audience. Yeah, that's all great. That's all great. But you don't want to have only that loyal audiences and the rest go to the rest, to the other places. No. In the end, people want value, right? You're not coming up with a 10% discount. Who gives a shit about that? You come up with a little bit of entertainment, show behind the scenes, right? Show what you're doing. I don't know what. Just show people what you're doing. How to eat very simple things. When you do get, for example, the deliveries from the wholesale companies, see where the product is coming from. I'm just saying this in the most simplistic way possible, because otherwise people get confused and then they feel friction and then drop off. Same with the training thing, right? And by the way, I don't want to turn this in some kind of rant. So, like I said, when it's about my vlogging journey, I was a little bit wrestling with myself, you know, shall I go on another channel, do the long form, shorts get a lot more views over here on this specific channel. But then I thought, let's do lives and shorts on this channel. And then I thought, why not continue the vlogs and see, and once I got over 1 million followers, then all those people start binge watching my previous videos. So that's what I'm actually decided to do, in case you didn't subscribe yet. You know what? Maybe sometimes I'm saying things that are pretty offensive for some people who are, I would say very, well, let's say how it is. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Weak, you know, no discipline, no nothing. Feel depressed and all that kind of stuff. Anxious because there's not one single fragment in your life that would be labeled as disciplined. And I'm saying this in the best way possible. I'm your digital uncle who gives you just a kick in your ass, you know, that red pepper in your back, and then you start running like, ow, that hurts. And people only change when they have a little bit that point in their life. Now things go bananas. And if I look at my own life, you know, if you watch my previous vlogs, you know, I went a couple of times totally also homeless, but that's not actually that made me actually want to go out of my comfort zone. That was totally not the thing. I already went totally overboard with everything. Like I said, I'm sharing in my vlogs strategies how to do everything from the phone, which I'm doing only from the phone. Next to that, I'm sharing the red flags of behavior of people. So when you raise your energy and create more opportunities, because that comes with more energy, right? When you get energy, you attract more people, you create more opportunities. But there's always another side of the coin, and this coin is you will attract more opposites, because when you constantly stay in the middle like this, you know, you go into your 9 to 5, you jerk off and you fall asleep every single day. That's a very middle, and I'm not saying this in a very disrespectful way, but it's not how God was thinking. Now let's put little Theo on the planet, and then he's just gonna be in a rat race for the first 65 years. I don't know, when you go to school and then everything is already bullshit, and then you go to a job until you're 65, you get maybe a couple of times married, you pump out some children. Whoa, that sounds very, very depressing. Well, and in the meantime, you're willing to cheat, you're willing to do whatever, because your life was without an abundance of everything. You were not surrounded by temptations. You don't want this. You want to open a lot of doors so you become more experienced in life. And when you say, for example, when you have children now, they would and you would say, no, you cannot do this, don't use drugs or whatever, you can actually tell them why. Because you've been there, done that. And do I tell you to start using drugs? No, it's with everything. I'm just using this as a very, very extreme example, because then you would understand. A lot of people don't understand if I would say something that is totally ordinary, and they would say, no, I don't see nothing bad about it. You know, very simple thing. I live by a set of gentleman rules. You keep the door open for a woman. Just saying. And I got a lot of things, but I live very strict by those rules. But we're not getting into those rules now. I talked about my vlogging journey also, and when it's about the training thing, the 13th step, 1 minute set. Just try to do it. It only takes, if you do 3 a day for the rest of your life, you're already better in shape than the majority of people around you. And like this, you create jealousy, you kick off a couple of losers, and then you move on up in life. And maybe you feel a little bit down. Oh my God, now I lost little Theo. You know, I lost Theo. I'm using Theo. I don't know any Theos. The thing is, you know, now I lost him. Or Tia. Tia, I don't know. Is that a real name? In Holland, it's Tia as a name. No, you lost him. You never had anybody. That is really something you should become very aware of. I do believe in this. I am now 46. I don't believe. Oh no, before that also, because I talked about it. All my exes, that I will never say, oh, you cannot go out tonight because otherwise you're gonna cheat on me. No, I don't care. If that's the way it's gonna be like this. And there's 7 billion on the people. 7 billion plus people on the planet. You cut it through half, 3.5. Okay, there are a little bit people who are them there, and little doggies and cats. That's also what they are, right? I don't know. I'm not into those labels. The thing is, let's say there's 1/4 that's real woman. Then there's of course a little percentage that fits you. Thousands and thousands of people. The only thing that you need to do is open the doors of opportunities. You start travel, and you just meet them. If not, fail fast. Fill up this cup of opportunity. And okay, let's talk about the cup of opportunity. Hey, yesterday I talked with a guy. He said, yeah, I know one. He likes a girl, you know, but he says I'm getting a little bit nervous. And I said, first of all, your life, you are way behind. He is okay. Let's change a little bit his age, otherwise he would not. Anyway, I also don't give a shit. He's 22. Probably never banged a girl board before in his whole life, but he was nervous. And you know what? And I'm gonna say this because I think a lot of guys are nervous, and you know what? Sometimes also girls make me nervous. I'm very honest about it, but I have a method for this. If one girl makes you nervous, figure out a couple of other ones that make you don't nervous, and then you're also less nervous about this one. How does that even work, though? Now, so for example, this guy said, when I'm going to the gas station, I don't know what to say. I just told him, you know, just say something that's totally out of the blue, and not what they always tell her. Oh, you're so beautiful. Who gives a rat's about this, you know, because they hear this the whole day. They get their DMs full with dick pics, and you know how it works. And a lot of women would say, no, I don't get my DM. No, that's simply because you post probably tons of family pictures and all that kind of stuff. That's not sexy. Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a tip. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but also when I talk, see, I have very, very straightforward, let's say, relationships with people. And when, you know, we hang out, we talk about stuff, you know, and I'm looking like this, I think, Jesus Christ. Well done, bravo. Good. Anyway, when it's also about chats, when I see now at the moment I'm still single. Wink, wink. But anyway, you know, I'm doing my chats, I'm doing my meets. But the thing is, you know, once I would hit, let's say the real one. And like always, I'm also thinking it like this. For a little time period, you connect with each other, you think you're all this and that. And I think, yeah, one thing that when I would go into a long-term relationship again, I would not bury myself in everything that would be connecting, you know, that it's very solid. Okay, besides children and all that kind of stuff, but the thing is, I would not bury myself very fast in that, you know, that you're at one point so connected with each other financially, I know what, transport-wise, and or at one point so emotionally attached because you visit with each other constantly the same places and or whatever. I think that's a dangerous thing, but it's not only a dangerous thing for you as a person, as an individual, but also, you know what, you're killing your own fucking relationship. If you constantly hang around with the two of you, okay, then with the two of you, yeah, maybe some with a tree. But anyway, that's a different story. The thing is, you know, you constantly hang around, let's say, to people from a village. I grew up in a fucking village. Fucking idiots over there, but not everybody. But anyway, besides that, you and this girl from this village, you hang around in that village. Hand in hand, you go all the time to the same butcher, to the same supermarket, and everybody knows you. And the moment that you do something overboard, then all of a sudden things are not so nice anymore, you know? Just for example, you get, I don't know, just a random example, you get picked up by the police. Innocent, but still you get picked up by the police. The whole village start talking, and of course it puts a little bit of danger in your relationship, but you survive it. Is that the most exciting thing that you can do for your relationship? I also do believe that people need to be mentally challenged. I only like women who mentally also challenge me. And the thing is, I've talked about this before, right? I need to check how much battery I still have. Oh, you know, yeah, so I got enough, 86%. But the thing is, I need mental challenge, because the moment that there's no mental challenge and or, you know, change of environment, and or, yeah, there's also another one, TV, total relationship killer. Go and sit in front with your spouse and watch your life together away. I would like to sit with somebody somewhere, I don't know what, meeting people. Yeah, but it's you, darling. I think in one way, why would you like to watch? Okay, that's maybe my personal perspective on this, but you know, when you watch together, you could actually do things together. There's a lot of things which you can do together instead of watching actors, which I really admire, by the way, because yeah, you know, they're really in control of their feelings and speaking and I don't know what. But that's not the point. The thing is, do you just want to kill and the time that you could have or create, or kill the advances that you could have created? And let's get back to those people who are living together from the first time, no, from that they first boyfriend, girlfriend, and then think that they belong to each other for the rest of their lives. And the thing is, it's all admirable and cute. Oh, that is so nice, you know each other from school, you went to, I don't know, prom things. I never did prom stuff and all that bullshit thing. All nice when you did it, but I never like to run in the normal human rat race. Going to football matches, you know, watching football, then it's a break, then you can go to the toilet. The fucking TV decides when you go to the toilet. I think those are so distracting from all the things that you could really do in life. You know, meeting people, talk with people, open the doors of opportunities to all the nice opposite sex. Maybe you're gay and you want to meet the same sex. Open those doors. There is constantly movement. You know, even when I would. Okay, last year I watched 35 minutes of television. This year I did not watch a single second television. And the thing is, because I see myself like this. I see myself from a third person. See myself, you know, sitting like this. You know, looking at a square thing. Okay, rectangle. I don't know. It's a square, right? No, it's not a square because it's, yeah. Anyway, you understand what I mean. This portrait landscape view, and I'm sitting over there like this with my feet, you know, and then I'm looking at it, and maybe I put my hand once in a while in a bag of Cheetos, and in the meantime the world keeps on turning, and over there the people doing all kind of things. You hear people laughing outside, maybe they're screaming, but at least there's emotion, motion. That is much more exciting. But of course, that is me. I'm running around in life like a child with eyes wide open. You know, I want to absorb life. I can also not wait to wake up. And last night, because of the heat, I did not sleep a lot. But again, and that reminds me of one conversation with another guy. I'm just going through all the conversation that I had. Today is very willy-nilly. I had to check again the battery. The thing is, and I'm gonna start with this statement. Some young people, they make me feel old. And I'm gonna say, not because of the reason that I'm 46, because I do believe my energy is way much higher than a lot of, let's say, quote unquote, normal 25-year-olds. I know I met a lot of I meet also 18 years old. My energy is higher. And if you're watching this, trust me, walk around with me for one day and you will think, you start feeling guilty about yourself. Is this everything what I did today? And now I'm running around with this thick 46-year-old fart, and he is talking to somebody, he's doing this and this and this and this and this. Come on, people, get your thing right. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, that I said some young people, they make me feel very old, because yesterday I was talking with a guy and he said, nah, see Dylan. No, he didn't know my name yet, but he said, yeah, when you know, I'm at the age that I have to be careful now, and it used to be so much more easier and to train. And by the way, I'm not talking bad about you. I don't mention your name, because I met him yesterday, and we talked yesterday for the first time. Many times we saw each other on the calisthenics spot, but yesterday, you know, sometimes, bam. Nice guy, so no disrespect. But I'm gonna share this. Why? He said. Yeah, because everything went so much easier when I was 20, blah blah blah. And I was thinking, what the hell, what is he talking about? Because me, I think tomorrow what a lazy fuck I was today. So, and I'm 46 and I'm doing this for a long time. I know after maybe even 1 week I would look back at me and then I think, Jesus Christ, did you worry about this? Did you think about that? Did you? What a weak ass idiot. That's how I think about myself. It needs to go every day better and better, like I also shared before. You know, I'm always evaluating all my meetings and everything. I evaluating at the end of the day, visualize myself tomorrow better before I fall asleep. I don't ever want to fall asleep because I want to absorb everything. But yeah, at one point you need to sleep. If I skip one night, you know, I'm also not feeling very good. But now I'm also getting to a point, because okay, let's finish the talk with this guy. He said, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit old. He said, no, as I asked, how old are you? 38. That's why I'm saying some young people, they make me aware of bullshit stuff, you know. And there was another one, I think he was also 38, maybe he was 36, but the thing is, he also said, you know, I have to be careful with my knees and everything. You know, people told me that when I was fucking 16, they told me that I already had to be careful with my knees. I'm not listening to, and this is also what I think, those people are in groups of people, you know. Things that you speak about is in your heart, but when you have the bulk courage to speak about it, you already did it multiple times. Otherwise you wouldn't speak about it. You're not going to talk to a stranger the way you would never speak to the people around you. Okay, there are limits, but things like this, you share something about your quote-unquote health situation and or vision about that you shouldn't do things so wild anymore. That is already so much impregnated with the people around you, and it's so bashed into your brain that it is like this. Well, I don't think like this. I also don't even when I'm talking about it, it's just to unload it. You know, my vlogs are just about unloading my own freaking thoughts. And maybe you think, oh, Dylan, that sounds maybe logical. So what is a little bit of takeaway from this one? Probably if you only listen to your own talking to other people, and then also start listening to the people around you. If they talk about, oh, my knees are hurting, or this and that. I had once, and I mentioned this story before, there was once a guy in an Airbnb, he came out of his fucking room and he said, oh, my knees are hurting, I cannot walk today. I said, fuck you. And he said, excuse me? I said, yeah, fuck you. Oh, because I know he knew he was, I think, 6 years younger than me. And let's make this story very short. We went a little bit through his diet. Now, yeah, everything is based upon sugar. It's a miracle that he was still alive. Anyway, besides that, from that day, he did a lot of hiking and traveling around the world. Thing is, sometimes he sends me still a message that he's grateful that I actually didn't treat him as his friend, because this is the thing. He has all kind of Coca-Cola drinking friends. Their teeth are all falling out. and this is not an offense to the people that are actually that I know, and they know me, and I visit them multiple times per week, and they're drinking cola a lot. No, a lot of people on this planet drink cola, and the thing is, Coca-Cola drinkers hang around with each other, beer drinkers, and the thing is, me, I'm so versatile. I'm sitting with the beer drinkers, I'm sitting with alcoholics, I'm sitting with people who own alcoholic stores, I'm hanging around at the calisthenics spot, I hang around with the people from a lot of different levels of society, because, as you know, I'm obsessed with engaging with people, and at the end of the day, I have very nice time in my my mind. I go in my mind through it, and then I'm writing down topics to talk about, you know. And when it's about talking about topics, you know, for my vlogs, you know, I really don't want to go into the direction that I have to script things to stay on topic, because that is really not me. And YouTube algorithm, this is me, and I'm not going into pranking. Let's talk a little bit about because sometimes if you don't know what you want to do, and that I think you can this is applicable to a lot of different let's call them challenges in your life. If you don't know what to do with it, then mention all the things that you simply don't want to do. Definitely don't want to do. So when it's about my vlogging journey, things that I definitely don't want to do: give money to people, put them on with the nose on the camera. And I know there are different kind of levels to this game, because I know there's one guy that I really follow for a long time. I'm gonna say it, as Steve will do it. He's doing it so all over the top and nice, and I think, yeah, that is nice. But you know, you got those small people. Here you got $50 or $100, and then his nose is on the camera. I think you should give away $100 if you anyway do it. But then people would say, yeah, Dylan, but they get sponsored by the people. But the thing is, at one point you're running out of homeless people, and then people still gonna send you money, and where's the money going then? Anyway, that's something that I don't want. And when it's about with the homeless people, you know, also in here in Bulgaria around Christmas, I'm drinking. I'm gonna walk around with a bottle of vodka and I drink with the homeless people. But the thing is, do I put the face on the camera? In Holland, people, the homeless people can come at my house, and then we drink and fish. Anyway, different story. So that's something that I don't want. Pranking people is also something that I don't want, because no matter what, I know. So for example, also this group of guys, I really like their videos, the Nell boys. You know, they started with this whole pranking thing. You know, somehow, somewhat, it is funny, and I do understand it attracts a lot of people, but me, I don't want to create or ripple effect, you know, negativity, and or had maybe temporarily negative feelings in other people on purpose, just for entertainment purposes, and in the end it's about the money, right? What else would I not do? The thing is, I also not gonna sit in pools and make the video look great. I just want that I can do this vlogging till the end of my days. That's actually my purpose, and share as much as possible. Like I said, I always want to grow as fast as possible. So probably, you know, so now I'm 46. When I'm 50, I probably speak way much better. If not, then I know to handle myself better in offline conversations. Maybe my whole YouTube venture goes to hell after fucking, I don't know what, after half a year already, and then I give up like a fucking loser. No, I don't. But you know, that's really the thing, right? I really want to improve my speaking. I'm very, you know, I want, and I do believe somehow it already resonates into the world around me. Because, so for example, in the morning I'm going to the mineral water place. I talk with the guy the security people over there. I talk with the security people in the supermarkets. I smoke a cigarette with the cleaning people over there. Yeah, I meet a lot of people, right? And if you would not walk with me, you're probably not gonna believe it. And again, so another thing that I would not do is, you know, put those people on camera so I can prove to you that I actually meet people. You know what? This is the thing. I do believe that you can hear from my voice, that I'm not making this up. And also, that's another thing. You can watch all my vlogs back. There is not one single thing that you can find about me, you know, that it's so fabricated to get the more views. No, you can see that it, you know, while some days I look really like shit. No, maybe today I also look like shit according to you. But you know what? This is, and before this whole vlogging thing, I would be so insecure about a lot of stuff, and then I would say, no, now you're not gonna start the daily vlogging thing, because what if they see this, you know, hanging snot out of my nose, and or this is not perfect. But you know what? I am not perfect. I'm far away from perfect. But you know what? Nobody is perfect, and in the past they told me many times, you're a fucking nobody. Just kidding. Yeah, they said this, but I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But I'm trying to share my experiences because I lived in multiple countries. I have a very, very colorful palette of people and people that I'm talking to, but also on a daily basis. I come in neighborhoods and also very specific areas that a lot of people would label. Oh yeah, see, that's another thing. I would never go into areas and say, this is the most dangerous neighborhood of this and this. Look at these people that put the camera in their face. I'm now gonna film all those scammers. See, of course that is nice to know, but again, I don't want to, let's say, quote unquote, bad people. I had to talk about, oh yeah, that's also a nice one. Bad people, but okay, I would not put people on camera like they're fucking monkeys. And with all due respect to monkeys, and don't feel now stepped on your toes, and like I said also in the beginning of this vlog, I speak from the heart and I'm not doing anything from the script. So anyway, so that's also something that I don't want to do. And the thing is, when it's about so-called other people, so calling other people bad or good, trust me, I have seen people doing and acting in ways that some people would label, that's very evil. And the thing is, and this is what I think about, let's say, quote unquote, evil people. But evil people, maybe look at that, people hang always around with each other. Like I said, stealers are stealers, liars are liars, alcohol, training people, gym bros, I don't know, all those labels. But the thing is, bad people, they also hang around with other bad people. And maybe they think that maybe they're doing us a service, because we're the stupid ones. Not that I'm saying that I'm the opposite, that I'm good. I'm just not labeling anybody as, oh, you're so bad. I'm simply not syncing with you. And there are people on this planet who are in the women trade. I'm not into that. And I met people who were. I met people in the past. And in my belief, at that time I said, yeah, those people are very bad. But the thing is, those people probably hang around with each other and they laugh at normal people, you know. Look at those suckers, you know. They would see women maybe as a product, and they see everywhere is product. And then they look at men like, look, there's everywhere buyers. That's how I try to get into the shoes of other people. And also this, when it's about forgiveness, I know a lot of people, they say that they're highly religious and or whatever. With all the respect, yeah, when it's convenient. And also when your life is good and you have your life on the rails, although you watch your life away, looking at television and teaching the children all kind of bullshit that you never could even, should also never speak about, because you misinform them. I know, when it's about misinforming, wait a minute, I need to get again checking my battery. Oh, it's still good. And when it's about misinforming children. So when I went to the stadium, there was a father shouting at his son because he needed to do something with the ball. I don't know what they're actually busy. I couldn't even see what they're fucking busy with. But now I'm getting to a point. This father, totally out of shape, looking at his clothes, there is didn't make sense. Orange, purple. So where is the example? Well, how can you show? First of all, when you shout at your own child like this, I think you're already a piece of shit. And I'm saying this, you know, this boy was so fucking confused. You know, he didn't even know what to do. He had to. I think he also needed to do push-ups, jump up, I don't know what. But I believe that his father, he wouldn't do. See, if you're a so-called father and you know you want to train your child, do it, show it, and come on. You know, when you so-called a father, Jesus Christ, this fucking honking thing. You know, do first take care of your fucking self before you even speak about it, but also really putting his son down, and he is himself. And I'm now saying this in the most disrespectful way to him, because first of all, I don't like when people mistreat. I think it's mistreating children, first of all. And then maybe other people say, yeah, that's hard, tough love. Well, if the father looks like shit, totally not taking care of himself, hair, there, hair. See, when people do disrespectful things to other people, and I can talk about this as a third person, right? I'm not talking, say, this is Jeffrey from on the corner block, none of this out of this neighborhood. Just say, just a sec, I'm vlogging. Can you hear me? No, I'm vlogging. Ciao for now. So, sorry for that. So the thing is, if you try to teach your children something, make sure that you have your whole household in order. You know, your body, whatever. Make if you want to teach him how to do push-ups, show him. But also make sure that you have the father role. You do 50 in front of him, the right way, not the, you know, the half things that you're out of breath after let's say 5 push-ups. You know, don't try to teach other people something that you have not been, about stuff that you have not done or haven't been there. You know, I'm not talking about flying in my private jet because I don't have one. I'm not talking about riding around in my Lamborghini because I don't have one. But I can tell you a lot of things about engaging with the world, which opens so many doors. I'm sitting with people also in multiple countries. I find always the opposite people, and I'm sitting with them. Most people would not even be able to sit with those people. But also next to that, there's another thing. Those people also allow me to sleep in their places. And this is not me bragging, this is me about trying to explain that I know how to make people feel very comfortable. But not only this, I of course have some sort of requirements for people. Let's say it like this: the people that are very close to me, they all interesting to watch, no matter what they do. And I'm talking about the most simplistic ways. I know one friend of mine, he is 62, if you're watching this, you know, whatever the fuck he's doing, putting on his shoes, everything, you know, people are interesting to watch when they're interesting in what they're doing. And that is a quote from, I don't remember. If you know what it is, just drop it in the comments, you know, but that is a very nice one, right? You're interesting to watch. Oh yeah, it was by Jim Carrey. He mentioned this quote, and I think that is very nice. And when I look at my, let's say my 100% contacts, I always like to label them as bonds, because I don't like to use the word friends. You're my friend. Yeah, I know you what? You got people call you friends and brothers in the bar that you just got hammered last night. So that is meaningless. You know, people who say sweet things, you know, and with all respect, but in England or English people in Malta, they also say many times, yes dear, or, you know, with all the respect, but I don't mean a word of it, because it's simply saying the things. Yeah, that all sounds nice, but in the end, talk behind your back. I'm not saying all English people do so, but you as an English person, if you're watching this, or a British speaking, I don't know how you want to label yourself, the thing is, you know that those things are happening. Oh, lovely, how are you doing today? Yeah, that sounds all nice, you speak it, but if you don't feel what you speak, I don't believe. And it's not only about the British people. I know people who speak so fake. And again, I'm not trying to step on British, but it's a nice example, right? If you've been to countries, and you probably understand what I mean. And I know a lot of British people that are very genuinely nice, but speaking like that is part of. I noticed this, it's very quickly, but also the same thing with, yes, brother, I'm not your fucking brother. I don't even know you longer, or hey, bro, Jim, bro, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not into labels. I talked about labels before, but also when you say something, mean what you say, and say what you mean. And it's not. And I don't believe when you call other people brothers, or hey, bro, you want to drink something? I just met you. Talk about my problems. I don't give a shit about your problems because I don't want to be your mental garbage can. When it's about mental garbage can, there are people that let themselves use as mental garbage can, but do this long enough, and again, your garbage can is filled up with all kind of bullshit that you start believe that it's true. If I would hang around constantly with people and that talk about, yeah, I'm so old, my back is hurting, everything is so painful, be careful with your knees, your elbows, your hands, your fingers, because otherwise they will drop off if you do so many pull-ups every single week, you might hurt your back. If I would listen to that bullshit every single day, what do you think what's gonna do with me? You know what? I would dump the people straight away, and I never want to listen to them ever again. Because that's also something, and people do know that I don't give a rat's ass about, let's say, your normal people thinking. And this is no disrespect, but I don't want to listen to the things that are not applicable to me. But if they would hang around with me, then they would totally forget about that they actually do have needs that they have to take care of. I think about stuff all totally different. I don't want to listen to all kind of stuff. Also, and that is maybe one of the reasons that I hang around with a lot of people, but I'm not an everybody's friend. Also keep that in mind. A lot of people also get nervous. They get nervous when they meet me. True. I'm not bragging over here, but it's simply because they don't have any discipline. They just watch their life away. They scrolling and commenting negative stuff. I'm not into that. I don't want to listen to your negative stuff. And I also said this before, when it's about negative things. I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria. I don't want to learn all kind of negative words. Some people see, I know what they're saying, but I don't want to speak them up loud. I don't have to know. I don't have to know. I only want to know when somebody says it around me, then I understand. And because, yeah, you can see my color, and some people still judge me on my color. And the thing is, I'm raised by white people, and my adoption parents, they were probably way much whiter than yours. You white racist motherfucker, if you're watching. And and I'm not getting too much in it because I also hang around with very, very, very heavy Nazis. Yeah. But you know what? I'm the exception. That's what they say. But with all the respect, if you're watching this. But this is again, I like people who are real, 100%. If you're a Nazi, be a fucking Nazi. If you a clown, act like a clown and be a clown. I don't give a shit. The thing is, if you're let's say a thief, be a thief and do your thing. You rob all the people that you know. But don't start acting like a hypocrite that everything is all of a sudden because of the hand of Jesus or I don't know what you're doing. And people come up with all kind of reasons to justify their things for somebody else. I'm not justifying my own behavior, I'm not justifying anything because you think that I'm a little bit extreme, for example, with the training. I'm not gonna tell you to do anything. I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not also pushing anything that you have to do. Because my way is the best way, that's totally not what I'm thinking. I also don't believe that people would like to live a life exactly like mine. Nobody wants to live a life exactly as somebody else, but you can always take some elements from somebody else and implement it in your own life. I do believe the things that I'm saying make sense only for a specific kind of people. Especially because, like I said it before, I like to speak to the people who want to get out of the rat race, start training a little bit, you get a higher level of energy, you create more opportunities, then you need to start learning how to filter your people. But you're also going to start taking care of other people, that in a way that it would never expect from you. But you're also going to lose a couple. But again, you never own anybody. And even when you have children, you don't own them. You know, they're gonna live their own life. And if you're just an example, like a bag of potatoes, you know, talking about all the stuff they should do or should not do, and you don't have any experience in life because you only went to fucking school, you bassed up the first girl that you ever met in your whole life and say, I know everything about life. You never went outside your own country and or even get in very huge trouble because of your own misbehavior on a very extreme level. You know, when I talk about stuff, I've been there, done that in a very extreme way. And the thing is, it's not about, you know, talking down to myself or even incriminate myself. The thing is, that's the thing about my vlogs, and you can take away something from it and implement it in your own life. And I do believe when it's about cleaning up the people around you, you can live a better life many times without the people that you currently hang around with. Because I see so many people, groups of people that hang around with each other, play with the phones. Okay, children, they play the little games, but let's say you're a fucking adult, you show each other respect. And that's another thing, right? When I hang around with, let's say, the people, I would say my people, but I don't own anybody, and nobody owns any other human being. The thing is, I don't play with my phone unless I need to answer somebody quickly, but I always excuse myself. I'm not gonna sit next to somebody and then scroll on social media. That's how much respect you get for somebody else. And if somebody sits around you and or you take somebody on a date, hup, kick her to the curb, or him. You know, you're not gonna meet me and then play with your fucking phone. Yeah, maybe you need to pick up a little bit, you know, your mother is calling, where are you? Or your father, if you hang around with that boy. But the thing is, who gives a rat's ass? If somebody comes to you, spends time with you, and starts playing with the phone, I really don't care about those people. And I think it's also very disrespectful. If I go to somebody, I try to put as much energy in that meeting. I know how long I'm gonna be with that person, and I try to put in the work, try to make them happy. And what I get from it, satisfaction, fulfillment. And it's not about that I say, this is what I want from our meeting. No. You know what I want from a meeting? That I did my best. And they don't even have to say it, because if I know I did my best, and the next time I'm gonna, of the day, a few hours later, I'm gonna evaluate the thing, and then I'm gonna do the next meeting and I'm gonna do it better, and I think I did it better, then I think tomorrow I can do another meeting with somebody else and do it even better and better every single day. And that's the thing about the volume that I'm doing. I'm doing huge volumes when I'm about meeting people. Some people say, yeah, I meet 3-5 people per week. Okay, good for you. What the fuck? You're not even joining. You know, playing the field of life. You know, life is so diverse. The planet is turning around for 24/7. It's actually a shame that the guy upstairs invented sleep. You know, maybe a little bit misconfiguration in human, and not only in humans, animals also. But animals, you know, when they are awake, they're straight to go run after. Now, yeah, when you think about it, oh yeah, not cats, home cats, but if, let's say you live in the wild, the moment that they're actually awake, they're gonna look for food, so they get to work. You know, they could say, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait for my welfare. No, they cannot. They're not gonna wait for their welfare. They're just getting up, brush off their fur, whatever kind of animal it is. And the thing is, or I say you're a snake, you know, you don't have fur. But I don't know. I don't know a lot of animals that I would say that I know all the ins and outs. But most animals in the wild, they go straight away to work. There is no other way. And they'll open their eyes, or maybe they had a very bad night. And also when it's about bad nights, some people also say, yeah, but I didn't sleep very good. You know what, how I slept today last night, also very shitty, but it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna do my run, I'm still gonna do my calisthenics, and I'm still gonna make people very feel, let's say, valued. What did I say? Valued. When they meet me. I'm not gonna play with my phone because I'm a little bit tired. Who gives a fuck about when you're tired? Do you know what tiredness is actually? You know, some people who tell me, I slept last night very bad. You know, I used so much drugs in my life, and the thing is, and I learned one thing from this. Because when we stayed days awake, which I did in the past, totally not ashamed about this, totally acting like a clown, totally something that I would never do again. That's something that I also learned from it, and I can tell you tons of reasons why not. But also what I learned from it, at one point I was 4 days awake, and I think, if I can do this, because at one point it's not about it's your body, you know, it's, you're shaking and all that kind of stuff, but the mind. I do believe a lot of things, because when I was also high, you know, I always studied what is going on, what is going on in my brain. Sometimes I was thinking, you know, looking in the mirror, look totally like shit, because that's what the drugs is doing with you, especially when you don't sleep for a couple of days and you start smelling very bad, all that kind of stuff. That's also smelling bad, but of course I always took care of this. But the thing is, you know, there's so many bad things about drugs. I could go on and on, but one thing, let's stick a little bit around the point where I want to go with is, you know, I really studied the mind, what is happening. Weird thoughts, yes, but at one point, when you can stay awake for such a long time, don't eat, not feeling hungry, yes, it's because of a substance. But I had periods, you know, that I actually did not have any money, and the thing is, I also at one point did not eat anything, and I walked around 4 days just to stay warm at night. And the thing is, then I just grabbed back in those dark times when I was just incredibly high, and then I was thinking, this is not so bad, you know, I can walk another day, I had times that I almost, you know, I didn't eat for a long time, and then I also drunk, and then the water was contaminated. I told this story, but the thing is, you know, I felt such like a loser because I was sitting in my pants. No, I was on time, but the thing is, I felt like a total loser. But you know what? I've been a bigger loser than just, you know, trying to survive. Because that's another thing that I learned from the drugs thing. I acted like a loser. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And when it's about acting like or feeling like a loser, I regret once, because, you know, I'm going to tell this story. Once my father, you know, my adoption father, he passed by unexpected, but you know what, I was filling up my nose, and you know what, he left in less than 10 minutes. And the thing is, until this day I think about this many times, because he knew that I was high, and he felt very disappointed. And I'm saying it, and you know, it's true, it's a true story. If there are a few things in life, I can mention them that I would regret. That was one of the points in my life that I think, shit. And I had also never the chance to actually talk about this with him. You know, I could feel the disappointment. I could see the disappointment. He actually, yeah, and I can never return or speak to him about it. I don't have that chance anymore. He went away a long time ago. And the thing is, do I regret that part? Well, yes. And there's another point in my life, and I'm gonna make a video about it, because that was one of the points that I cried actually, because I didn't eat for days and days, and I had to sell the golden ring to eat, and I felt very embarrassed, but yeah, I didn't have a choice. I was very hungry. Anyway, those are the two things that I regret, and no matter what the things that I failed with, you know, project, business ventures, relationships, those things I don't regret, because I know I did my best according to myself. Of course, I wasn't so thoughtful as I'm now, and trust me, after 2-3 years, when I would look back at this freakishly long vlog and this non-stop speaking, that I'm probably gonna think, yeah, oh, what? But there's a thing about this, because would I then now say all kind of things that I don't mean? Yes, I do. But also, this is another thing. This is what I really think. I'm just refining but also adding knowledge to my own behavior by actually meeting everyday people, but also developing strategies, automated strategies. So I'm filling up the cup. And it's not like that my whole perspective would switch 90 degrees, 180 degrees. No, I do believe it gets more in the direction that I want to be. I want to be the guy who gets along with a lot of people. But of course that I will have my boundaries. One of those things what I cannot is not authentic people. People without, let's say, zero respect, and also let's do a little bit polarization of audience. If you listen to this and maybe you think I'm totally wrong, but you know what, and it's again non-authentic people. Like I said, if you do something, then do it all the way. So for example, well, I knew one guy who was working at the bank, licking ass, totally not a very authentic person, constantly making sneering comments, felt offended because I called him Mr. Banksy. Then I stopped doing it, and then he actually calling me multiple times Delansky, until I bashed him in the fucking face. Wrong reaction, but people like that I need to stay away from, because they're making sneering comments, and because they're somehow somewhat a little bit jealous, never had a position in their life where there was any kind of control, never. You know, most people don't have any level of control in their lives. But that's the same with people who they would say, you know, I would never cheat on my wife. Hey, you know what? Because you don't have the abundance. You don't have the amount of the access to places where you can actually hang around with a lot of women. Because like I said, a lot of people who come to visit me over here, they say, yeah, I would never cheat on my wife. Well, the first night and I'm taking them somewhere, bam, they would cheat. I know. And it is simply a lack of abundance. And those people, again, you know, they still in such a learning curve at a later age. And the thing is, I failed so much, yeah, good, but I did this from a very young age, fast. Fail fast, and you learn from it, and don't repeat your mistakes. And that's, I think, you go to a single direction. If you constantly make the same mistakes, then you start running around with a 360 thing, and then you get away, separated from the point of reality so far away that you don't even know what's your real name anymore. Yeah, in my case, that's never 100% sure because I'm adopted. But anyway, besides that, you don't want that. No, not the adopted part, but the thing is, you don't want to get separated from reality. You want to dive into reality. A lot of people just try to distract themselves with the phone, right? Just to stay away from reality, so they're gonna get too much in touch with the reality thing, right? I love to be at the point of reality as much. I also every time. So I said this before, right? This is the point of reality. This is what I'm circling around. This is normal people circling around. You know, normal people don't have those challenges that I would have, and I think a lot of things. And like people who are actually doing something with their life. So I'm not talking about the self-employed people who develop, let's say, a lot of value for people. You know, then you're actually getting in touch with yourself, because I know from a lot of self-employed people, it's money. In the end, you can look at them, where is the self-care, where is actually the high level of energy with the engagement with their spouse. It's not over there. It's empty. You don't want to leave this planet with an empty thing. You know, like I said this multiple times to my trusted contacts, and I'm gonna say it now also over here. If I would go now, my heart stops now, so be it. I don't say this in some kind of way that I have a death wish, not at all. The thing is, I don't have anything that I would say I haven't done. Okay, there are a lot of things that I would do, but I think I've done things and I made things pretty correct. And when it's about making correct things with some people, don't give your word to people who have the loyalty of a bag of potatoes. And with all respect to potatoes, by the way, but you understand what I mean. Because my boundaries were so much misty and they were not very clear. That's why I also got in a lot of troubles, because I always thought people have the same ideas, people have the same level of dedication. That's the biggest thing. But also they have some sort of talent that I actually don't have, because they didn't put in the work. You know, now when, you know, also in the past I met a lot of personal trainers, and I think where there's any kind of muscle and or shape and or fire in their eyes, because they walk around like a sleepy bag of potatoes, again the potato, you know, they just walk around sleeping and tell other people do fucking crunches. I did not do any fucking crunches, and you can see I am pretty ripped. And the thing is, I drink beer, I eat meat, I do whatever the freakishly thing to make life a little bit more interesting and or keep me going. I eat to have energy. I don't eat every 2 hours a piece of chicken and then this and this and then a little bit of broccoli. But the thing is, my life is so diverse and in some ways somewhat it can be unpredictable. And if I cannot eat for 2-3 hours and or maybe 6 hours, I don't want that my body all drops in like a cake in a fucking oven. When you kick the oven, right, when the cake is rising, and then is all away. No, I like that if I stop training, let's say for 2 weeks, and I said this before, if I stop for 10 days, I only get a little bit more bigger, because then my muscles have actually time to recover. But the thing is, I don't want to recover. I want to stay hyper. And in the first place, and then I also have to stop talking because I keep on going, I know. But the thing is, I'm the first place, my mind needs to be hyperactive. And let's say this in the most respectful way to the people that I meet, I want to be more energetic than the people around me, because that gives me the attention that I want, that gives me also the challenges that I want. Trust me, when you would walk with me, you would see that yeah, a lot of people are staring. And I'm not saying this in a bragging way, but also, yeah, it's the color dollar. It's always something. It's your tattoos. There are a lot of people who have a little bit of color, and a lot of people who have a little bit of tattoos. The thing is, there's energy, and I do believe my energy, but also my intentions to the world. I want to engage with the people, you know. So that is probably my aura, and I'm always trying to put the best amount of energy into any kind of engagement, even if it's for a 5-minute thing. So like a very nice example, the guy from the mineral place in the center of Sofia, I started talking with him since actually 2 days ago, always a little bit winking, but now since yesterday we talked. You know, it's the same for all the places with the supermarkets, liquor stores, butcher thing. You build relationships, and people, you know, come to me from the butcher. You know, we talk about how cold it is or warm it is, I don't know what, but just a quick talk, but it's nice, right? And there's also something, wait a minute, you know, giving a compliment, and then I'm also gonna stop talking. You know, giving a compliment is for free, and if you do one, that's probably very hard when you start doing things like that for the first time. Then you do another one. Maybe one per week. You start slow, but don't make it too slow, because otherwise you will develop this skill like a fucking snail. You want to develop fast. If you want to make your life better, if you want to make the people feel good around you, if you want to meet new people, because that's another thing. When you give people compliments and you start to feel a little bit more confident about it, you know, you start attracting those things. I really, really believe in this. And you know what? You don't have to be the most good-looking guy or girl. You know, I'm also not. But the thing is, I'm attracting a lot of people from a lot of different levels of life. But let's close this vlog with this kind of thought. You don't need to be all that, but do a little bit better than yesterday and start. I think when you want to change your life, I think a very good way is just say something nice. Do a nice gesture. Keep the door open for the woman with the baby. If you're watching this, you know how much the impact that made on me. But the thing is, not only with the baby, also for the guy, the older guy. Stand up for the person in the tram, you know. Just do something nice. Say something nice, but also mean it very nice. You know, make the whole combination. If you would see how I do it, you know, when I get up from a chair because there's an older woman or a child walking in, I just point it, and also energetic, not like, you know, I see it, because I'm gonna do an example, because one guy, he was just getting up, didn't even look at the person, just gets up, hangs over there in the tram like this. You know, who gives a shit about that? There is no intention. It's just because I have to. No, turn it around. I want to, and I want you to benefit from my little tiny effort, and I don't need anything in return. And for now, you know what? Stop talking, dog. I think, let's see how many minutes I'm at. Oh, 1 hour and 9 minutes. Yes, this is the end. And when it's about my vlogging journey, let's see how this goes. 1 hour and 9 minutes. I think this is the longest, and this is one single clip. Oh, well, by the way, yeah, this is, I need to stop. But this is what, yeah, this is one single clip. And I'm like, yeah, when I talk about the vlog, that I just don't say anything. I don't say anything, just a little bit. I don't know what. There's one thing that I'm saying. I did a 10-kilometer run, and then I'm doing some calisthenics exercises, 3 different clips. Just slam them together. No explanation, nothing. Get triple the amount of views that I get on my long form. So yeah, I don't know how to play around with this algorithm thing, but. And that's also one of the confirmations, and that I think I'm just gonna do what I want, and let's see if the algorithm finds an audience that can actually, let's say, relates with the stuff that I'm saying. And that's it. Hey, by the way, if you didn't follow me yet and you think there's one thing that I said that has some value, you know, why not? You're anyway busy watching me, if you watched all the way till the end. And by the way, you know what? If you watch till the end, maybe you can leave a comment and or send me a message, because if you watch me all the way till the end, then we got something special going on. Anyway, ciao for now.